We are back in Zoho CRM Complete Guide Part 2, which is the automation engine. So, what we discussed in Part 1 was the base layer of data structuring, layouts, fields, data storage, and those kind of things. The next layer is the automation layer, which includes workflow rules, blueprints, macros, and sequences. So, we'll be discussing different automation capabilities, and we will build a base automation structure as well. We will discuss a bit about what basically function capabilities are and how functions are most important part in the CRM system automation sequences, and how it helps you do things that are not like generally not available or you can't do with standard drag and drop or plug and play options. So without wasting any further time, let's dive deep into the demo of building a workflow automation. So stay tuned with me. Okay. So here we are. We are back in the settings section of the CRM. So now we will go to the automation section and we will discuss the workflow rules, actions, schedules, assignments, scoring rules, and cadences. So first thing first, workflow rules, right? So if we go to the workflow rules, now these rules are generic standard workflow rules, which means that we can create a rule. So let's say if I create a new rule and name it as, now this is this part over here, this is very important because you choose which module or an object you are activating the workflow for. So let's say if I'm activating workflow for leads, now I can do any action based on lead creation or lead editing or scheduling based on a specific date on the lead or on the lead scoring. I can make any action like a trigger point, and from there onwards I can basically control the rest of the behavior. Just for because we are testing it, so we will create a testing and we can give just rule as a description as well. So now from here we have trigger points, a record action. We will come to this shortly. Date and time field, record score, recommendation, and record notes. So either you can select a particular date and time. You can update based on the score. If the lead score changes, this will trigger accordingly. Then we also have recommendations and we have record notes as well. So if we go to record action and we have either create or edit or delete. Now either if we create a record or if the record is created or edited, or if it's edited or it's deleted, that's where we can control this behavior, right? Then we have the date and time field, then we have the record score field and recommendation, and then we have the record notes. So either notes are added, removed, or anything, we can send out further actions. Now let's say create or edit. Now this is important because if we want to multiply this behavior, means whenever the read is edited, I want to send an email notification out, I can do that. So let's go next. And then this is the next step. Now if I create an edit and repeat this, but I have a condition that if the status of the lead is contacted, only then repeat this. Means if the status is this particular status, whenever there is an edit happens, it will trigger this workflow automation, right? If the status is something else, this won't basically trigger, even though there is repeat this workflow. The trigger would happen or close. The trigger would happen, but the condition will close and it won't let it move forward. Or I can, irrespective of the condition, I can move it to all leads. So if I do all leads, I will just turn this off because that's like the workflow I'm building doesn't make sense to activate this. Okay. And I did this. And then these are actions that I can do based on my trigger points. So lead is created. Now, one important thing, this was for lead. The same process, and this is the benefit of a modular structure. The same process is used on contacts, account, deals, and pretty much all the modules that are available inside the CRM system or any module that custom create. This same process is followed. Now, these are different actions. I can update a field, I can assign or change the owner, I can add or remove a tag, I can send an email notification, I can try and activate, like I can create a task, I can add meetings. Let's say if a lead came in for Houston, Texas, I can basically, simple as that, I can create a task for the Houston. Whoever is the sales representative for Houston. Then I can create a record as well. I can create connected records. Now, connected records are related records, which we showed you on the detail page in the previous part. So we can basically make changes in the connected records as well. Then we have webhooks and functions. These allow you to do stuff to external systems, specifically the webhook. So you can basically push something to an external system through a webhook if your external system offers a webhook. So the possibilities are unlimited, and you whatever system offers a webhook, you would be able to send data to that system. It doesn't matter if they have API or they need a connectivity or not. You can just simply send webhook, and the other party will receive the data in JSON format, and you can use that to a text or JSON format, and you can use the data to basically make or save the fields according to your requirements. Then we have functions, which is the one of the most, I would say, the most powerful thing in the Zoho CRM system for automation. We'll come to that part. So we'll come to the email notification. So we'll just put this email notification for now, okay, and we'll associate. And then what this email notification does? It is sent from this email. This is the template that I showed you in the previous section about templates, like the email template, inventory template, and the image template. So over here we can select the templates. Now, when we create templates, the same process is followed of selecting a module. Because this email template was created for leads, that's why it's available here to selection, and then from to from it's sending to my email. So that's like the idea. Okay. I can see this and then write the function. Now, functions are, what we're going to do is we will pick a function from here. We will say lead scoring function. Okay? And these are basically the entries that we have to provide. I will come to this. You have to understand exactly this does. The lead ID, I'm giving lead ID to the system to fetch information from the CRM. So this is a variable that I'm assigning upfront. It's called argument as well, and I will use this argument to fetch information from that record using the dilute function. So if I click edit function, I will give you a brief about how this function works. So you will have an understanding. And the most important thing, or the most core thing that you need to understand when I'm telling you this, is the possibilities of it. Okay. So we have these different arguments coming in. So we have these arguments over here. So with these, this is a void function, means it won't give any output. Like it won't send an output out. It's just a void. It will just run and close. Anything that happens within these brackets will stay these brackets. Okay. Then these are different variables or arguments that are coming in. These arguments will be used to basically take an action here, right? Now, this is a predefined function, obviously provided by the system. Okay. There are other ways of doing that. So I will explain you that as well. Now, these are arguments. I gave it to lead ID. I have the lead ID, string, phone, email. I can just go back to the arguments and I can like edit and add all these arguments. All I have to do is add a hash, choose the module lead, and then from here phone, and I am all good. Okay. And similarly, I can add of all of them, but I don't need that. What I'm trying to explain you is bit different. So when I add these arguments and whenever the trigger happens and function is attached, system will have these details automatically picked from the workflow. And then this is where it checks if the value is empty or not. If it's not empty, then add 2 points. If the phone length is greater than 9 numbers, greater than or equal to 9, add 2 points. If the email is, there is an email, add 2 points. If there is a website, add 2 points. And if there is a title, CEO manager, add 2 points. Like this is a point scoring, lead scoring management. So that's why it's doing that. Then all the way down here, we have the else score is null. Now, what we are doing here is that we update record, zoho.crm.update record, leads ID, the same argument that is coming in from the header. And then we are mapping the field API name score. Okay, we are just updating the score field in the system, and that's pretty much it. And then we are posting the info, means we are checking the sequence. Now, this workflow is, or this function is an example of something that we can do. Now, think about different possibilities. We can filter out records based on certain conditions. We can filter out records based on certain behaviors. We can filter records based on certain categories. We can push this record or get everything from here, and we can do like we can trigger webhooks. We can move it to existing Google system. We can push it to open URL. We can invoke an API, and we can even send it to the FTP server. How cool is that? Like, just think from here. You don't need a middleware to do anything. You have a system right here that can basically send any information to any of the systems that are available out there through FTP, API invoking, or webhooks, or Zoho, like if there's Zoho system into Zoho integration. The context is very, very simple and straightforward. Obviously, this is an end user kind of sequence. It's not a developer friendly sequence. Although for developers, it would be much easier to understand. We will have another series for developers that will help them understand how Deluge works, how Zoho works, how the development side of things work. So that's a different series we're gonna do in future. But the idea that we are trying to convey to the end user is, with functions you can do a lot of stuff. Anything that can't be done, anything that can't be automated using standard features in Zoho CRM, functions basically change that behavior a lot. Okay. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then once we are done with the functions, we can simply save and activate the record, like workflow, and then we should have workflow going in. Now, if we want to check how many times the workflow ran, just click on the workflow, view usage, and it will give us how many times it has been sent, how many times it has been blocked, and that's pretty much it. If I view usage, that should be last, let's say, 90 days. Okay. So it was triggered 4 times, but none of that met the condition, so it's basically it. So that was it for this particular session for the automation part. Now we will move to the part 3 of the process, which is like the channels on inbox, and we will also discuss a bit about Zia, how Zia automation is basically changing the game, or Zia as an AI agent is changing the game. So stay tuned and connected, and we will see you in part 3 of this Zoho CRM all guide in